Hello, it's your boy, Lord Farquaad, and this is another episode of Love, Hate, Lord Farquaad Take. They call me Farquaad 2 times for a fucking reason. It's your boy, Lord Farquaad. Welcome to my show, Love, Hate, Lord Farquaad Take, owner of the Hot Atlanta Falcons, man. Owner, once again, of those Atlanta Falcons. This is the DML Network representing the Dynasty League. Welcome to my show. Hey, we do this each and every offseason, man. I get a fire-ass panel together, and we're going to talk about some shit that's been going on in the Dynasty, man. Hey, so before we get into anything, man, I got to introduce this fire fucking take I have, or these guys I have at the round. This is another roundtable edition. We're going to talk about some stuff. First and foremost, man, I don't do shit by myself, man. I always have my brother with me. I got Expert in the fucking building.
No doubt.
I got the homie Ness in the building, and I got my man Addy 5, man. Levelhead crew, man. What's up, boys?
Yo. Yeah. Let's get it.
Okay. First off, last time we talked, we were gearing up for the playoffs. The playoffs has happened. It was I will say this was a very, very entertaining and competitive playoff race. The NFC and AFC was a battle all the way up to the Super Bowl. We had and the NFC side, it was a fight, but of course, Hot Tub makes his presence known and gets to the Super Bowl, represents the NFC. AFC, we have new blood, man, and it was an impressive road to get to the Super Bowl. Tight work, and those Miami Dolphins, they both meet in the Super Bowl, and it was an incredible game to watch. Legendary status, as my man Addy says, because Tight Work fought through a really tough AFC, met the giant of DML, if some would want to say, and beat them. Miami Dolphins are your 2017 Super Bowl champs, guys.
Wow.
Did you see it coming?
No. No. And I think Addy touched on it. You know, he had to go through the gauntlet in the AFC. I mean, you want to talk about probably three of the toughest guys in the AFC to have to beat to get to that point. And then once you get to the Super Bowl to play one of the most decorated champions in the dynasty, and Tight Work game plan was he just came out with a right game plan versus Hot Tub. You could tell that he's done some research on Hot Tub, but man, shout out to the homie Tight Work. I know I picked the Cowboys. I did not think Tight Work was gonna do it, but big ups to Tight Work on Super Bowl win.
Yeah, I feel conflicted, man, because like you gotta know in real life I'm a Dolphins fan, and to see the Dolphins win with somebody else, it's kind of like, damn, maybe I should have got them. Also, being that he beat me to get to the Super Bowl, you know me, I'm always one to give props where they're due, and that's legendary for real. On the show before, we were doing tiers, and he beat 3 top tier users to win the Super Bowl. So anytime something like that happens, that's impressive as hell. So shout out to him. Really.
Yeah, I played him when I was, the owner of the Jets. So I went 1-1 against him. The first time I played him, his game style he adapted very well. But, if anybody plays me, one time I could adapt well too. So the second time I got him. So, but I'm not surprised that I'm not surprised that he won the Super Bowl because he was creeping. Like, he took a loss here, then went on a little winning streak. And I was watching, I was like, he probably can make some noise because he's not a familiar face in that upper echelon of players that he was going up against. Like, we expect the Addy, the Vitamin, the Hot Tub. We expect those players to be up there. So for him to sneak in there with an unfamiliar team and unfamiliar to the Dynasty history, you're like, oh, who's this guy? I mean, I want people, we can say what you want, ebook, whatever, it doesn't matter. You still got to use it. You still got to play the game. Like, you can have every money play in the world. We got dudes in this league can stop money plays. To me, there are no such things as money plays in the dynasty because we just all research, we watch each other's Twitch, We try out new defenses. And it's, so he just, shout out to Tight Work. The Dolphins came in Tight Work. He didn't go to the Dolphins, but
Yeah.
I would definitely love to kill the ebook talk, man, because this is a league for lab rats. So even if we do have guys that come in here and say are ebook users, they're gonna have to adjust because the shit's gonna get shut down. We've seen it year after year with user after user. A new user come in here and have success, and then that sophomore, that's junior, senior year of them playing, man, the shit gets tough for them. So definitely interested to see how that AFC East is going to shape out, because that conference is loaded now, man. That division is pretty loaded with some guys now.
Yeah, they added Sweetie Pie too, right?
Yeah, man, the Trace Amigos now, man.
Yeah,
Sweetie Pie type pussy and
fake KP.
The fake KP is what they like to say.
The bus, yeah.
Bus. That is the bus.
Yeah, bro. But shouts out to Tightwork, man. Came in here and beat a very good user for his first Super Bowl. So big shout out to him. All right, guys, this is what we're here for, man. Let's start this roundtable discussion, because this is the off-season edition. It's what I do every season before the draft, which is tonight. So you guys be tuned out for that also. Dion implemented, him and the commissioners implemented a trade calculator to stop with the hopes of stopping, to keep a competitive balance, Dion says. And I like the calculator.
Absolutely.
I played around with it when it was first, when the link was first posted, and I was like, okay, I can definitely see, I had high hopes. But we have sharks in this league, and we have a lot of minnows in this league also. So the sharks are out, and my first big trade, and I'm on the commish board. And I see a lot of this stuff. It comes across my table all day when it comes to off season. So it hurts my heart to have to approve a lot of these trades, because for the calculator, they're fair. My first big trade that I want to talk about is this Ravens and Saints deal. The Ravens had the 5th overall pick, and he gave it up. The Saints had the 17th overall pick, and they swapped those picks. He dropped back 12 spots and grabbed Michael Thomas. The Ravens acquired Michael Thomas and the 17th overall pick. Michael Thomas is he's 6'3", he's 25, quick development. But did you not see the wide receivers that are in the draft?
No, he couldn't have.
Did you
have
not see them? Now this isn't. Michael Thomas isn't bad. He isn't bad, but you trade the 5th. You give up the 5th overall pick, man, to a Saints team that grabbed a mediocre. He grabbed Jeremy Maclin, who was mediocre, but he's a fill-in guy. But he's in position. He gave up someone to get somebody a lot younger and someone he doesn't have to pay, because Michael Thomas isn't going to be cheap. And he got 2 years left, so he's not going to be cheap. So who do you guys think won this deal, man? Saints or the Ravens?
Can I? I want to talk on this simply because the Ravens is in my division, and I would like to encourage everyone in the NFC North to make decisions just like this, because it might make it a little easier for me. It's weird because, like you said, if you do your homework and you look at the wide receiver core in this, at 5, you can get you a monster. And see, the thing with me, that's kind of, I want to watch my words, because I'm not helping nobody be a better GM. But guys always have ulterior motives for the most part when trying to move pieces, whether it be cap space or not having money for X, Y, Z, or like you said, you're gonna have to pay Thomas eventually. And it seems for some reason like Matty Ice, it's like he knows how to finesse jokers out of their picks, to get what he wants. Shout out to him for that, but like that's a great move by him. But the Ravens, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't understand what dropping back 12 picks. Maybe Jay thinks that at 17 some of these wide receivers will still be there. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been to enough dynasty drafts.
No, expert. I do know. He's a big fan of Michael Thomas. He's a big fan of him. So
and that's fine, but you know what? That's called the HBO syndrome.
Correct.
When you are fans of real life guys, this is Madden on PlayStation 4. This is not the real Michael Thomas not coming to your house for dinner tomorrow because you traded for him in the dynasty. So you got, you know what, Addy, right? I don't want to give help to make no one else a better GM. That's a great trade by the Saints. Matty Ice wins that one, hands down.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very, very blunt, but very careful with my words. Saints and Matty Ice definitely won that trade. If that is the reason that he traded for Mike Thomas, like experts said, those attributes, they are not the Mike Thomas attributes that are in real life. He's going to react to the ball. He's not going to let it fly over his head. That's the video games that we're playing. But I can say this without giving out too much information. If he had to look at how the last dynasty season just went, tied for him to think that Mike Thomas is going to do what he's hoping he's going to do. And like you said, there could be. I'm not saying there could be studs in the draft. Like experts said, this is dynasty. We like speed. Users like speed. But you got to look at the history. Indicative of what we've done in the past, the last season. I mean, hey, the Saints won, Ravens in his eyes won. So I'm not gonna hate, but the Saints won in this deal because he got to fit the wrong fit.
Before I move on to the next pick, I'll close with this. There's a wide receiver in this. Matty Ice fleeced the shit out, and Matty Ice isn't slick because, like I said, I'm on the committee, so I see everything that happens. It all comes across my lap. Matty Ice was shopping Michael Thomas around for those top five picks. He was shopping them. He worked his way from 5 all the way down to 1. And according to the trade calculator, that's what I'm saying. According to the trade calculator, it worked in his favor. And if you pay attention to the draft or the combine, I mean, well, this happened before the combine, but there's still a 6'3" wide receiver that just ran a 4.3 at the combine. So you missed out. So you missed out on that. But you rather take a 6'3" guy that has 89 speed, and you're gonna have to pay him in 2 years, and he's gonna be expensive. That's you got the shit fleeced out of you. So shout out to Matty Ice. Just each offseason, he's fleecing people, the hell out of people. We saw the Dolphins. I mean, it's incredible how this motherfucker just sauces people up.
Yeah, but Matty Ice, stay out of my DM.
Right,
Matty Ice trying to shop in my DM too.
Bro, say that again.
Yeah, Matty Ice, stay out my DM, dude.
Matty my guy, but y'all gotta know. Don't come away with that foolishness.
Right.
As soon as I see Matty Ice name pop up.
Right,
like, what do you want
it's a bad idea, man.
I tried to inquire about PJ just to see what he was talking about. Let's just say Matty. I don't know what Matty thought. Maybe he had a couple brews, but we set Matty packing from the DM. See you tomorrow, bro.
Now I want to talk about another trade that did not get as much airway, as much public views that I feel like it should have gotten. And this is the trade between the Patriots, SJ, and C-Rob, the Panthers. This was the very first trade that we had I had approved. And this was a really interesting trade. You guys tell me about this, man. This was a really interesting trade. The Panthers sent Charles Johnson. I don't have the details up, but if you guys, maybe somebody's on it, maybe they can pull it up.
He sent Panthers sent Charles Johnson, Jonathan Stewart, and Curtis Samuel for Gillislee and the first and the second.
And a first and a second. This is okay. Mike Gillislee is really in shit in the Patriots offense. But guys, a first and a second they sent the Panthers. I mean, for the players he just acquired, Curtis Samuel, who is fast as hell, Jonathan Stewart is a solid back, and Charles Johnson is a good left end. Like, it's the first and the second, but who do you guys think won this deal, man? This is a really interesting trade to me.
And it did took a long time for us to get, I think, for them two to get this to work out with the trade calculator.
It did.
I know they had to go back to the drawing board a couple times, but I really didn't think this was a bad trade on either side because you have to look at what these players are going to. So if you look at SJ and his play style, he likes that quick one cut back like Jonathan Stewart, a little bit bigger back, and he loves speed at the wide receiver position. And I think the Patriots' philosophy is if you're over 6'1", you can't play wide receiver for us. So, and he really liked Curtis Samuel because of that speed. But then you look at a guy like C-Rob, who's really a balanced user. So he likes that Mike Gillislee that's going to work more in his system than it did for SJ. And I would say Charles Johnson and Jonathan Stewart and Curtis Samuel were the 1 and the 2. I thought it was a fair trade. But it's always going to come down to who does C-Rob draft with those 2 picks. Can he replace what he lost with those 2 picks? We'll have to look back at that and say, was it a good trade or not based on what C-Rob does?
I'm looking at this the depth chart for the Patriots, and he can play this season if injuries permit. He can run a nice little 3-back system, man. He's got Deion Lewis, Jonathan Stewart, and James White. That's a solid core right there. 3 guys he could mix and match in there whenever he wants to. And this wide receiver core just got faster. Mm-hmm. He spammed the hell out of Cooks. For some reason, Julian Edelman plays like he's 6'12", catching big balls
be
out there.
Mossing kids.
So does Cook. I don't get that. And Curtis Samuel is just another piece that's going to be really interesting to see. 95, 96 speed, Cooks and Samuel. That's going to be crazy, man. Actually, the Patriots just got dangerous, and I think this is a really good pick for him. A really good pick for him because that AFC East is, I mean, that's going to be a tough division. So he definitely got better. I think he won this. He was the winner of this deal compared to the Panthers. The Panthers rolled up on picks, but I'm giving it to the Patriots.
Question for you fellas: is he switching? He's going to switch Curtis Samuel back to wide receiver because
no, he was already back. Yeah,
he is.
Okay. But I know when I played Panthers, C-Rob was I didn't play C-Rob, but he was Curtis Samuel was that running back. Which he made a valid point, but he made the call, so it is what it is. But I mean the Patriots. Yeah, I believe the Patriots. Me personally, based upon their play style, it could be a push for me. I mean, it really. Again, I'm a believer in what the user's going to do. I do think that Curtis Samuel fits exactly what SJ likes to do. He runs the ball. I think Charles Johnson was just something in there just to make the trade calculator be happy. Mm-hmm. And then C-Rob, like y'all said, he has to. Let's see. I don't know him to be a elite drafter here in Dynasty, but I don't know him to be a bad one. So we'll see what route he takes. And see if and then that'll ultimately let us know if the trade was win or loss for either.
Yeah. I mean, I think play style always factors in, and me, as long as I've been here knowing SJ, he probably attempts the most deep balls than anybody in the league if we had to calculate that as a stat. And to have a 95 speed on the outside and a 96 speed with Cooks, that's a lot to deal with. Me being a defensive guy, that's a lot to scheme for because one missed tackle and that's a touchdown, and it's really a game changer. I think that for me, I think oftentimes I told SJ this talking because we talk every now and then. I told him I feel like he's the friend zone king.
Most of that's very good.
SJ really is like he's buddy with everyone. He's cool. He's really a cool guy, and sometimes that confuses guys, and they'll make deals because people won't trade me. I don't get it, but jokers just won't trade me. But,
me too.
Yeah, I'm no joker, but I'm not trading with either one of y'all. So.
Yeah, whatever. But they'll give SJ a 95 speed receiver that fits his style. So it's like that's a great piece for him. Even if he had to give up a first or second, he probably wouldn't get a player like Samuel. So I think
Right.
it's a fair trade in the calculator. But if I had to give someone who won, I would say SJ won that one.
That was one of my fucking do's or don'ts, man. That's one of my don'ts, man. I had a don't session in the chat right after high stakes saying, guys, this is what you don't do. And one of them was don't give SJ a speedy receiver. It's just, granted, the Panthers are, in a different conference,
Right.
but or make them pay for it at least. I don't know, but we'll see what C-Rob does.
You have to look at C-Rob. C-Rob's not throwing the ball down the field. So Curtis Samuel is wasted in Carolina for him. So why not trade him away, get you a first and a second round, and go get a couple pieces that fit your play style. Now, one thing C-Rob got to do, he got to get that white boy in the backfield some touches in Carolina, because McCaffrey needs to touch that ball 10, 15 times a game, whether it's a screen or reverse, handing him off on the outside run, whatever you do. But that's why I said Patriots may have won it right now by a slight edge, but let's see what C-Rob drafts with those picks. C-Rob could really win this trade if he drafts him a couple good pieces.
C-Rob no better, man. The way we were hit sticking or White Lightning, man, he gonna need something else back there, because it's not gonna happen against Atlanta. Okay, last trade we're gonna talk about, which is pretty much kind of the blockbuster trade. It's always a blockbuster trade when the first overall pick is being shipped off. So the Titans and the Browns closed off on the deal, settled the deal late last night. The Titans agreed to send the number 1 overall pick to Cleveland once again for a first, which was the 19th overall, and 2 seconds, the 55th and the 59th overall for the number 1 overall pick. So I know this is going to be a nice little debate, because some think it's a good deal, some doesn't. I'm kind of on the fence, and this is where I am with this. I think JB and the Titans could have got more for that pick, seeing what the Browns had as far as picks. I would have asked for more. So I think he kind of lost there, but he also won because he acquired a first and 2 seconds. You need depth to be successful in this league, and he acquired that. But I also think the Browns, he won and he lost also. He won because you got the number 1 overall pick for a second year in a row. Insane. But also, you gave up a lot when you could have kept that and filled in more spots. I mean, you had a ton of pieces already in your hands. Like, why did you need to get greedy and move up? But we'll see what he drafts. But honestly, I'm kind of on the fence with this. But I will say JB sort of won this deal. He could have got more. It's a bad trade, but it's not a terrible trade.
Just real quick, I'm going to say, what if it went, I guess, I'm like you, Farquaad, but it's like, if it went through the trade calculator and they made it work, any other time, I would say he could have got more. Houdini said he wasn't going to give up more, but that number 1 pick, that big number 1 is just enticing the guy. It's like a dude with a 98 speed and a 32 catch. We don't care in the Dynasty. We just want that speed. So, I mean, JB did what I like what JB did after hearing it out, because at 1-15, I believe he was, you need players. You don't need a player. And especially with this draft, there's, those who did their research, you see it's a nice array of players from top to bottom.
Very deep draft.
So therefore, him acquiring more picks lessens the pressure that he has on him to make the right pick. Now, Houdini has to make the right pick at number 1, or he wasted all those other picks. And by being such a deep draft and pick like this, I don't know. I mean, he has a quarterback title that he just the rookie last year. So he's going to go quarterback. He has Coleman. He's going to go wide receiver. It's like, I don't know what right pick he would make. That's why I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't want this pick. I would have got more too, but I definitely wouldn't have kept the number 1 pick, because you got one chance to make it right instead of 3. So I'm a man of numbers.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate here. If we think Houdini made this trade without knowing who he's drafting at 1, we'd be crazy. Houdini knows who he wants, and he knows he had a good season last year. He's a good user, so he's thinking, add this 1 piece. I'll give up, a couple second round picks, let JB drop back 18 slots, pick up that number 19 pick, which wasn't even Houdini's pick. He got that from the Texans for getting Brock Osweiler, who then he dropped, who now belongs to the Texans. It's just crazy. But Houdini knows who he's picking at 1, and he has an opportunity to pick a superstar that can help an already good playoff team in the AFC. I know most people are going to say this JB won this trade, but man, I like what Houdini did here.
Now, he had a good first season. So a lot of guys struggle. Would you call the Browns a playoff team? I'm looking, this roster is terrible.
Listen, guys.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Being that Houdini's in the division as well, I think I completely echo the sentiments of Ness, because you got to understand that a lot of times jokers are playing checkers when it's really chess. Now, JB has a roster that he has to fill, and there's so much pressure that comes with that number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, when you have the number 1 pick, it's not because you had a good team and you just happen to lose games. It's because you have a lot of holes to fill. Now you move down 18 spots. Now let's think about it from this perspective. Let's say he's drafting only for defense. At 19, you can get a great defensive player, and then you've also added 2 more in the second round, and now he can essentially fill every hole in his defense with 1 move. So I love the move, and it's put so much pressure on Houdini to make the right. Like at 1, usually when you move up at 1, it's because you need that 1 piece. But there's also holes on that Browns roster. So if I was him, I'd have kept the picks for myself, and I would try to fill it out that way.
And you know what just happened also? He just got hit with that penalty, and he lost his 2 best players also. So this trade even came back and bit him in the butt even harder. Like JB definitely came out. Now I just remembered that. Now that happened, JB definitely won this trade because the Browns just lost 2 of his best players, defensive guys. So there's even more holes for him to fill.
Okay, so he lost those 2 players and then made this trade. Which just leads me to believe that there is somebody in this draft that he is going up there to fill a hole that he just lost.
He has to.
And listen, we've seen some guys draft at 1 that draft a game changer, right? I mean, Farquaad, I think you drafted 1 in the 17th cycle and picked up a cornerback that pretty much shut down one side of the field. We've also seen the other side. I understand what y'all are saying. There's pressure at 1. Maybe you pick a guy that's a normal development or a slow development, then this trade becomes really in JB's favor. But, Addy, do you not think that Houdini is a playoff caliber team? He's in your division.
I mean, I'll say this. I think he gets under-talked of as a user, but he's a good user. And he made the playoffs this year. But my thing is this. Like, with all the things that factor, and this is for me playing him, there are a lot of holes there. Granted, I'm not going to tell him where his holes are at, but there are a lot of holes. And it's not, there isn't one, I put it like this, because I won the division, I guess I have to talk about myself. There is not one piece in this draft that will make him 4 games better. You get what I'm saying? Like,
damn.
I don't mean it like that, but it was a difference. And there's not one player that will account for that gap, especially after you lost 2 of your best players. So for me, it would have been a lot scarier. Because listen, I scouted very well in this draft. The first 2 rounds, I probably don't have a person not scouting that first 2 rounds. And there is a plethora of talent. Now, it would have been a lot scarier to have Houdini have 4 picks in this. Because you got to think, it's chess, not checkers. And the future would look even crazier in Cleveland to have 4 crazy pieces to go on top of a great draft from last year as opposed to 1 now.
It's going to be crazy to see who he drafts at 1. Y'all tune into the draft tonight.
It is.
7 p.m. Eastern. It will be twitched on the DML network. Y'all tune in for that. It's going to be crazy to see who he picks.
This is I love having this discussion because this is it's just, and I don't think it's done. The shit's not done. Like I said yesterday in the chat, man, the Dynasty offseason rate does not peak until Saturday night. Maybe before or after the draft. There's still going to be some shit that's about to happen. It's almost like clockwork that happens in this. But like Expert said, man, the draft will be tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys tune into that, man. It's gonna be a fire lit draft. I will be streaming the draft. Club Farquaad will be lit. So you guys definitely tune into that, man. We'll be twitching that thing. I don't. That's pretty much all I got for today, man. The playoffs. Again, shout out to Tight Work for winning that bowl. We had some very interesting trades that we have to talk about, and now we're just getting ready for the draft, man. Before we get out of here, expert, who's your sleeper pick in this draft, man? Who you looking at?
So
just tell me position wise.
Houston Texans don't have a first or a second round, but I love listening to people like Addy 5 and the homie Ness who talked about depth in this draft. There are guys from round 3 through round 7 to even undrafted that are going to make impacts on rosters. I don't remember all of the 16 drafts. I do know that in 17 we did not have a deep draft like this is right now at Madden 18. So this is going to be exciting to see. It'll be a draft that I'm going to pay attention through all 7 rounds. I know last year, once we got past the 4th round, it was pretty much let whatever the top guy was, I was picking. So we are looking in Houston for a player. That's who we looking for. I'm not going to say no position. We looking for a player to fit our scheme.
Okay.
Yo, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut jokers off, but breaking news, we made a movement since he just now. You got to figure out eventually down the line. AJ's going though. AJ's no longer a Bengal. I thought the break. Yeah, I thought
what?
Yeah, AJ's out of there.
Well, you got to tell us where he went.
Well, it's not official.
AJ's now. AJ. Well, he accepted it. It's official, and I ran it by the committee.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to the NFC North. AJ's a Packer.
Oh, John.
What'd you get, bro? What'd you get for this guy?
We swapped seconds, so I move up some spots in the second.
Oh, I remember this deal.
Yeah, and
I remember this deal.
I get his first this year. He gets AJ. So,
John.
So now 20th and 30th.
John.
First round.
Dynasty. Listen, Dynasty.
Hold on.
Stop trading with this man.
I don't trade. People don't trade with me. AJ, it's not. Listen, I'll say this: when I trade jokers, it's not that deal. AJ still has 2 years left on that contract.
Here we go.
Seriously, he's a monster at 95.
The Dynasty Republican.
I know.
KP. You and KP.
Bro.
President and vice president.
Yeah, I'm a good dude, bro. You know.
Hey,
I look out for you.
Championship game, and now he got the 20th and he got 2 picks in the first round.
Hey, listen. If AJ gone for a second and a first, somebody come get Julio, man. Julio can go on the block. He's 99 overall. He still got 92 speed, 99 catch in, 99 spectacular. Come get Julio, man. We can talk. Let's get it, guys. But I want to thank my awesome fucking brothers for jumping on this show, man. I love doing this show. This is one of my favorite times to do this show. Off season, we can actually pick apart some of these trades and deals and talk about it. So I want to thank my brother Expert as always. I want to thank Ness. I want to thank my guy Addy 5 for jumping on here. And making it happen, man. Hey guys, tune in tonight. This is gonna be the Dynasty drafts are always fire. We have a ton of guys to stream. It's always a good time, man. Always a good time. If you guys that are listening, like, share, subscribe this video. If you want information on how to get in on this brotherhood, you can hit up any of the commissions. You can hit me up at DML_Falcons. Via Twitter, hit me on Twitch. You can hit us up on at the Dynasty League website as well. I think it's the Dynasty Madden League.com. You can find us there. I don't want to tell these guys the wrong way, but there's a ton of ways to reach out to us. If you guys want to get in on this, it's a great time. There's a ton of guys that will direct you in the ways that you need to go if you want in on this league. Guys, any last words you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I do. For those that are going to be watching the draft, at this current time, no, we do not have any openings. Just come enjoy the show. You put an application, and our administration team will get back to you. Check out our Blueprint League, and also just to get it out there, because I'm gonna talk my stuff. All right, YouTube plays YouTube plays are on YouTube because guys play the game against the computer in practice mode, and these plays work. I'm putting up air quotes. So then they take it to their subscribers. Don't lose and cry about a dude using money plays because you couldn't stop a regular Madden NFL play. And definitely don't cry about it when you lose, and then cry about it after you try to hit a person up in the DM and ask for the play or use the play. Please, if the shoe fits, buy an outfit for it.
Damn.
Anybody, has the energy and things that is directed to them, hit my DM, I give my phone number, send my location, it's the same about that. We get baby. That's just how I'm coming. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm selling ebooks in my DM. Hit me up.
Yeah, just rock out, play ball, land. That's all it is.
I will say, I will say this. I have the Madden School Unlimited ebook. I pay the $60 every year, and I do not go all out and just choose every freaking money play because every play does not work. I pick and choose certain plays that I like that'll fit my playing style. I'll add a few plays and implement them into my playbook here and there. And, that's how we rock out. I'm not one of these ebook guys that just take everything and just run straight money plays all game. Like, it's just not going to work. And if you're playing with guys that know how to play the game of football and know how to adjust, it's not going to work. And you're going to get guys like this that complain about you using the ebook and all this other stuff. It's all about adjusting. So that's on you as a user to get better, and not on the person that's beating your ass with, the money play. You just got to get better. That's all it is. You got to get better. But again, hey guys, I thank you guys for jumping on once again. Ness, Expert, Addy5. Shouts out to Ty, man, on the production team. Take care of this show, man. Our media team is top fucking notch, man. We say this all the time. I don't think they get enough credit because these guys work crazy hard behind the scenes. But our media team is almost second to none, man. Great team. So big shout out to Ty. Guys, draft is coming out 7 o'clock. You guys tune in, get ready. It's going to be fucking lit. We got an advance coming up. Get ready. The draft board, our war room in Atlanta is definitely crazy. I got my guys working right now, so we're gonna get ready for this draft, man. See you guys next time. You know how we sign off. Suck my dick, keep God in your heart, and let's get it.
We out.